Greetings, programmers. Welcome to episode number 9 of our Making Memory in Scratch. Busted Thumbs here with Fluffy Wishes.
Hello!
And once again, we are getting to the end of our game. This is pretty exciting stuff. In our last episode, we got to our game so that we could run it. It was telling us whose score it was. We could pick whatever size. We could flip over the various tiles. And everything's getting to the point where we can actually add the logic, the rules of the game, get those put into place. I think the way we need to do that is we need to keep track of which tiles are being flipped over, because at some point we have to say, is tile 1 the same as tile 2? And the way we know they're the same is if they're the same image, the same name that came from that tile boards. So we're going to create 2 new variables again. I mean, we're making lots of variables, but that's just the way programming works. Let's make a variable that says the first tile name, and let's make a variable that is the second tile name. That's it. Okay, we don't need those to show up on our screen, but we do need to keep track of them. We, like all of our other variables, let's just set them. And when we get started, I don't want them to be anything. The first tile name and the second tile name should just be blank, because neither one of them has been selected. Just go ahead and get rid of that guy. Make him empty. Set the second tile name also to empty. Just like that. We're starting to run out of space over here, aren't we? So let's go ahead and rearrange things a little bit so that we do have a little bit more space, because this guy's going to start having some more work that he's going to have to do as well. So when the board starts over, I want to make sure that these things are also set to blank. So first tile name and second tile name should both be blank. It's not until we actually select something that we put these guys in. Okay. So easy enough. Let's go back to our card, because he's the one who actually has to tell that that has happened. I'm going to now switch this up a little bit, because this guy right here, that is the first tile name. That's the tile name of the thing that we're looking at. And so what I want to do is I'm going to pull this out and stick him in a variable instead. So this guy is the first tile name. First tile name right there. We're going to set him right there. And then, to make it easier so we don't have to do that over and over again, we can actually just go ahead and switch the costume to first tile name, because we just set him in there. First tile name, where'd you go?
3 from the top.
3 from the top. It's almost like it's alphabetical.
It is.
Oh. His first tile should be false. There we go. Alright. So when we come in now, on the first click, it's going to do that. On the second click, we actually want to set the second tile name. So it's going to be just like this guy, except this time it's the second tile name. And we want to switch the costume to not the first tile name, but the second tile name. And alphabetically, it should be that guy right there. So there we go. This is first tile. We don't want to change that quite yet. Well, actually we do. This is okay. We're back to the first tile after this bit. And we did say that we're revealing the tile, and we wanted to set that back to false again. And really what we wanted to do inside there was to wait a little while to show that that was what was going on. So if we put a little wait inside there, something like that. Okay, so that should do about what we had before, except now we're keeping track of the first and second tile name. So let's make sure that that's working for us. Let's go ahead and show those two. First and second tile name, first tile name, second tile name. It's just to make sure that these are working. We'll put these in a reasonable spot for us to read. and go ahead and play this game. Which one should I pick?
The middle one on the left.
Okay, that's a snowflake. Seems right.
Uh-huh.
And what other one?
The top right corner.
That's a dove. So it looks like these things are working out correctly for us. Okay. Now, two things could have happened at this point once the second thing clicked. Either they're the same or they're not the same. So we have to do different things in each case. After we wait the 2 seconds, we should check to see if they're the same or not. And when we have two things to do with that happens to be the case or not, we don't want that to pop in there. We want it to be down there. All we have to do is check this. Is the first tile the same as the second tile? First tile name equal to second tile name.
Below the player scores. Right there.
Yep, second tile name. Okay. So if they're the same, what should we do? What do you do in the game?
We should hide them both and give whichever player got them right a point.
You're right. So we should take them away. We should take them off the board. We don't have anything to do that yet. But that's okay. We can do that. We can write something that'll do that. And we should give that player a point. So giving the player a point is pretty easy. We have another if then else case, right? Let's do that first. If, whose turn is it? What do we want to do if it's player one's turn?
We want to give player one a point.
Yep, so we change
Player one score up at the top.
Score at the top, very good, by
1.
Yep. And then we do the same thing. If it's not, then it's player 2 score, right?
Up at the top.
Player's 2 score, change that by 1. And it's still their turn. So we don't have to change whose turn it is. We'll keep whose turn it is the same, but now we want to hide those two items. That means we have to tell two different tiles to hide. So let's, to do that, we're going to actually have to broadcast an event because we're only one of those tiles that's handling this. We're the second one that was clicked. So we're going to have to broadcast an event that says, and we can broadcast and wait on this, a new event that says hide selected tiles. Okay, and this is only going to happen when first tile name, no, we don't want hide, we want to remove. We actually want to remove. Hide would be just setting them back again. Remove selected tiles. Okay? So we now have to handle that event. If we ever get remove selected tiles, let's go ahead, we can leave that down here. When I receive remove selected tiles, I want that thing to go away. The easiest way to make that happen at first is just to make it hide, and second is just, we're never going to need that guy again, so we're just going to go ahead and delete that clone. But we only want that to happen in a certain case. That case is when my tile name happens to equal to the one that's in here. So this guy right here, remember that's the tile name of the person that we are? Right? When that equals the first tile name, because first tile name and second tile name are the same, that's when we want to do this. We want to hide. So if you look at it here, it's saying when my name, which is this big thing here, is equal to the first tile name, then hide me and delete this clone. And the reason why we do both of these things is the very first item, the very first tile, is not a clone. So even if you called delete this clone, he would still be around, so we just need to hide that particular one. So we're doing both here. Okay. So if we get in a match, in this case, they should just go away. They never come back again. So I think we've got that covered. That's what happens, right? Let's see. We didn't make sure his first tile is true because it's back to his turn again. They're gone. He's got another point. I think everything's good in the world. So what happens in the case where the two are not the same? We've waited our 2 seconds and they're not the same. Well, in that case, we don't change the score, but we have to change whose turn it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have something that looks a lot like this if statement, only we're not going to change the score anymore. We can get rid of these two guys. What we're going to set instead is whose turn it is. So if whose turn was 1, whose turn
Sorry.
should now be 2, player 2. And if it wasn't 1, then we're going to, whoops, put him there. We're going to set whose turn. Why can I, it's so hard. Some things they alphabetize, sometimes things they don't. We're going to set whose turn to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when we change the turn, we actually also have to show whose turn is up here. The label that says whose turn it is, we have to make sure that happens. Remember, we already handled that. We just have to broadcast it, right? So if we broadcast player turn changed, that thing up there should change. So we have to do one more thing, which is the 2 that we're seeing the picture of, we need to see the background of again. So all the tiles that are up should be flipped back over again. So let's broadcast a second message here. Show card backs. And this happens on all the tiles. So when that happens to be received, when I receive show card backs, then all we have to do is change the costume. And the costume should be card back. So the turn is changed, that message is changed, all the card backs are again back to it, and is first tile is back set to true. And we're all done with all that, and we're saying is revealing tile is set to false. Let's see how this goes. I think we have a bit of a game going here now. Let's run it. Small. So I'm player 1.
All right.
I'm going to click on this guy, Snowflake, and this guy, Dove. Oh, they went away. That's good. That's what we wanted. They weren't the same. And it says player 2's turn. So Fluffy is going to be player 2 for us. Snowflake. Ooh, that's good. We can test our other case. Look at that. See, it's still player 2's turn. Player 2's score went up by 1. You got the point. Of course you would get the point. And you get to go again. It's still your turn. Dove. Oh my goodness. Okay. I see how who's liked by the computer here. Your turn still. Uh-oh.
It's not working.
I'll get stuck. I'm going to guess that I know what the problem is. I'm going to guess that it still thinks is revealing tile.
I didn't wait long enough.
See that? Is revealing tile. And this is the problem that Scratch has for any time you click on something. And this is a little bit complicated, so hear me out on this a little bit. The way that it works when a tile is clicked, when this sprite is clicked, it starts running through all of the commands inside of here. And if while it's running through the commands that are inside of here, it ever gets to the point where somebody is still running these things and somebody clicks it again, that means it should be running twice, right? Well, Scratch doesn't like that. Scratch, when things are clicked, what it likes to do is say if there's any place where it could go off and do something else, it will run to that place and just stop the first one and only do the second one. So the second click will start being worked on, but the first one it will just throw away. And the places where it will stop are places like wait and places like broadcast. So if it was coming down to this wait and you clicked on this while it was waiting, that first one's never going to happen again. It's just going to stop. And the problem with that is that we set is revealing tile down here at the bottom, back to what it should be.
So you should move is revealing tile up to the wait.
Well, no, that's the problem, is we wanted it to be is revealing tile. We wanted it actually to be blocking during that whole time. And I've run into this problem before, and it's unfortunate, but there are ways to work around it. And one of the ways to work around it is to do something special into this script right here. And that special thing that we're going to do is to use a timer. Okay? And what that timer is going to say, basically what we have to do, the timer keeps track of how much time has gone by. And if they come in and they click, and we're in a case where we're stuck because is revealing tiles was stuck to true, what I probably want to do here is actually kick off another event, which right here I'm going to do this. This is one way to do this. I'm going to go ahead and say new message, reset is revealing tile. So if we got in here and this guy's kind of stuck here, what I want to do is handle this event, reset is revealing tile, but I want to do it only after waiting for a little bit of time. Okay, so there is inside here this timer guy. There's timer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the timer, and then I'm going to say wait until, and I'm going to use greater than, timer. And I believe your timer counts in seconds. So I'm going to wait 3 seconds. And if I get past those 3 seconds, I'm going to just go ahead and set back is revealing tile to false. Okay?
Okay.
And what this is going to do is every time it comes in, you know what, one thing we should do, we only need to do this if is revealing tile is true. Let's go ahead and make this check first. Not true, true. Data is revealing tile. So what this is saying is if is revealing tile is true, set the timer back to 0, wait until the timer is greater than 3 seconds, and then we'll just manually reset is revealing tile back to false again. So that one click's still not going to work, but your next click probably should.
Alright.
Okay, so hopefully that's going to fix our little problem. And it's kind of an unfortunate thing that you just have to deal with inside of Scratch sometimes. So here we go. Let's play the game again. I like Snowflake. Oh, this time it likes me.
It didn't reset the score.
Oh, you're right. You already had 1 point, so we must have missed that. Good catch. So when we initialize things, we probably didn't set the scores. Let's see, do you see player 1 score in there?
No.
No, I don't either. And for the new game, we should be setting it too. So we were only hiding and showing it. Good, good, good. Good catch. So we have to have 2 of those. Player 1 score should be 0. Player 2 score should be 0. I want to do that here too. Player 1 score. Player 2 score. Try again.
Alright.
You knew that there was going to be a bug like that in there because I was winning. Alright, small game again. I'm going to do dove and penguin. Butterfly and lion. Snowflake. Parrot. Wow, these are really mixed up. Of course. Lion. Lion, yeah. Good memory. Try again. Did it not fix itself? Yeah, it did. See, that time it got into the same problem we had before, but it fixed itself that time. And you're just killing me. Go ahead and click it. Penguin. There are other ways to fix this problem, by the way, but they're kind of complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to stick with the one that we've got. Snowflake, and snowflake, Did you get all of the points? Oh my goodness. Okay, go ahead. Parrot and parrot. Like that. Alright, so our game works. I'd say that we probably have one more thing we have to do to this game, which is to tell somebody that they won and be able to reset the game. We're at the end of this particular episode though, and we've got a game that works. We played it.
Yay!
This awesome progress, isn't it? Alright, so there's a lot of actually some fun things you can do here. We're going to sign off for this particular episode. But you've got a game that works, but we're missing a few things. We don't have fancy animations, but where the things pop off the screen, and we don't have sounds. There could be a background sound that you could play. We could have a nice little ding when you get a match, or when you get like the wrong match, right? Those type of things. We could put all of those things in there. And I would like anybody who's listening to this, if they're making one along with us, that they can just do that kind of thing themselves, right? I'm sure we can make that sound. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is great. We've got a game. I think in our next one we'll wrap it up. We'll see the final product of our game. We'll share it out, and we'll get these videos online so other people can see it too. Thanks for staying with us. Bye-bye.
Bye!